Hello and welcome to this special edition of India Decides. I am Saurabh Shukla and I'm joined today by Shekhar Iyer, who's News Mobile senior political analyst and a very seasoned journalist. Welcome to the show, Shekhar. Good to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you, Saurabh. It's a pleasure.
Shekhar, let's start about the Indian elections. The first phase is going to get underway in April, on the 19th of April. Let's talk today because our viewers are asking us about the southern states. What is going to happen? So let's begin the show by asking you, what do you think is going to happen in Tamil Nadu, a key state both for the NDA BJP alliance and the India alliance led by the Congress? What's your sense?
Well, Saurabh, since the southern states are going on the first phase, particularly Tamil Nadu and Kerala, there is a lot of focus there, and the Prime Minister has ensured this time that the BJP goes all out in a place where it is organizationally not as strong as it is in Uttar Pradesh or in the north. But a beginning had to be made, and that was the direction from the Prime Minister. The former IPS officer K. Annamalai, who was made the Tamil Nadu BJP president, was given a specific task of crisscrossing Tamil Nadu, establishing the presence of BJP, cadre across all districts. So this is going to be a real test. See, there is a lot of churning among the electorate of Tamil Nadu. They have seen the two Dravidian parties, the DMK and the ADMK, and DMK is currently in power since 2021. There have been a lot of issues, particularly issues like corruption, which has even hit the common people in their common dealings. And then there are issues of what you can call the inability of the Stalin administration to meet, external exigencies like the heavy rainfall in Chennai. There was flooding in the southern districts. Apart from that, what we are seeing is number of ministers have been, trapped in cases of corruption, the disproportionate assets. So the talking point there is about the corruption, then the dynastic politics, because Udayredi is all set to take over from his father. On the other hand, the opposition, which is supposed to be AIADMK, there have been a lot of internal fights. And for the last 2 years, you have not seen any great opposition activity in Tamil Nadu, excepting for what has been done by Annamalai with his Padayatra, which was concluded by the Prime Minister. As directed by the Prime Minister, all the BJP leaders, senior leaders were asked to contest. So Annamalai is contesting from Coimbatore. You have Tamilisai Soundararajan, who was governor of Telangana, contesting from Chennai South. So they have put all their leaders. And the hope is that, of course, from the Prime Minister is, it doesn't matter how many seats we win, but we must make our presence felt. And over a period of time, we should emerge as alternative. And that is why, you are seeing issues like Kachitivu taking a center place.
I was just going to ask you how, topical and how much of an impact do you think an issue like Kachadivu can make in these elections, especially in the state of Tamil Nadu?
See, what has happened, Saurav, Kachitivu was an agreement signed between Indira Gandhi and Srinivasa Bandaranaike in 74.
Yes.
Then subsequently fishing rights of Indian fishermen were taken away in 76 agreement. There are two agreements, 74 and 76. After that, what has happened is the understanding was Indians would be allowed to go there. Though 76 took away the fishing rights, the general impression was that Indian fishermen could visit that Kachitivu island because of a church there, a St. Anthony's church. I mean, they could offer prayers, and then, it did not mean that there was any bar on fishing. But Sri Lanka, over a period of time, made it clear that you can visit the island for prayers, but you cannot fish in the waters around. This is only a place to rest, maybe dry your nets, but no fishing. So that has resulted in a constant friction, because Indian fishermen go out and see in the sea. It is not very clearly, you cannot earmark this is the maritime boundary.
Yeah.
And our fishermen, initially were using very small boats, just, kattubaram, where they call, or catamaran. with just
Yeah.
a motor in the behind, and then going out far into the sea. So over a period of time, Government of India has been suggesting that they should go for larger vessels with with geostationary positioning system, so that they can go far and bring a better catch.
Yeah.
But it has been a problem that year after year, when our fishermen go, they are arrested by Sri Lankan Navy. Then MEA has to intervene, and then they get released from Sri Lanka. Now,
Diplomatic.
the background to this is when Indira Gandhi was Prime Minister and Karunanidhi was Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, this agreement was signed, 74. And when this agreement was signed, see, Karunanidhi was taken into confidence by Indira Gandhi. And since Karunanidhi wanted to have a good relationship with Indira Gandhi, he quietly gave his consent. Though his party was opposed, knowing very well that this will affect fishermen. And subsequently, you would have heard of a leader called Era Cherian, who was a great parliamentary. Later, he left DMK also and joined Janata Party. He was the
Yes.
one to raise the voice, says you cannot agree to this agreement. But Karunanidhi silenced him, rather did not want to make a big issue. Now,
Yeah.
what has happened is, since then, in 1991, Jayalalitha as Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, in her August 15th address from Chennai, openly called for India to take back Kachitiv. Since then, Tamil Nadu Assembly has passed resolution. Now, the DMK always has been making a case for the last 10 years that Modi has failed to bring back Kachitiv. So it was raised in Parliament. It was then that Prime Minister said for the first time, भाई Kachitiv तो आपने दिया और मुझसे पूछ रहे हो कब लाओगे कब वापस लाओगे. You gave it away and you are asking me. Now, this time also, this just last month, Stalin again wrote a letter saying that Modi government has failed to bring Kachitiv back, so our fishermen are troubled. Completely, obscuring the fact that his father, as chief minister, is a party to giving away of that island. So they never talk about what was their role.
But
Instead of that, instead
does it
of that,
really, yeah, sorry. Does it really matter to young voters, Shekhar? Because younger voters obviously are looking for employment opportunities. They're looking for, newer, I would say, growth areas. This is
no,
something I.
no, Saurabh, in all the fishing hamlets in about 7, 8 districts, even up to Kerala side also, they
Yeah.
are affected by this. So, in fact, Sushma Swaraj, in 2013, 14, she visited
I,
those areas in
I remember.
Ramanathapuram, Kanyakumari, and proposing government, special financial schemes for the fishermen to upgrade their boats. Now, interestingly, Sri Lankan government has been responding in a very cautiously to this debate going on here, because BJP's attempt is to show, look, we will get back. We are working to get back, but it is DMK which was the party and Congress is backing it, and they are making it as if we were the original cause of the problem. Now, the other side, at the diplomatic level, I can tell you, Saurabh, there has been back channel talks going on between Colombo and New Delhi. Even when Jaishankar went to Colombo, this matter was raised. Since we are helping them financially, we are helping them in a big way to tide over the crisis that they just faced. So I think there is some kind of understanding whether Sri Lanka can allow the fishing by Indian fishermen, or probably we can take it back on a lease or something without disturbing the agreements.
Absolutely. So that's
There is
actually,
something is going on, and this issue will pick up steam after the Lok Sabha elections, because in 2026 there is going to be assembly elections in Tamil Nadu, and BJP is going to be a big player. Now, Modi's masterstroke would be ensure fishing rights for no harassment by Sri Lankan Navy for our fishermen around Kachitivu, and call it as a big
victory.
card before the Tamil Nadu Assembly elections.
That's a very important point you made, Shekhar. Let's. So, what is your sense in number of seats? I know it's early days, but do you get a sense of what do you think will be the numbers coming out of Tamil Nadu this time?
Saurabh, I will not hesitate to tell you that even if they win 2 seats in Tamil Nadu, that is going to make a big difference, because you have to consider the fact BJP is a new player there, though they have had alliances before. This time they're plowing it alone 2 seats. In Kerala, my feedback is Rajiv Chandrasekhar's campaign has picked up very well in Thiruvananthapuram against Shashi Tharoor. And
Yes.
there, he has been doing well. His campaigns are getting very good response. Shashi Tharoor is going to try for a third term. Of
Yes.
course, the Congress's advantage of a solid Latin Christian votes, and those Latin Christians are essentially Dalits. They have been traditional Congress voters. And Tharoor is hoping that that will give a big boost. On the other hand, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, whose family controls the largest television networks there, Asianet, he
Yes.
has his own feedback, which is saying that Rajiv Chandrasekhar could, pose a very big challenge for Shashi Tharoor. Similarly, in the constituency called um, Trishur, where Gopi, Suresh Gopi, an actor who contested last time and who won 2 lakh votes last time but could not win. This time
Yes.
he is also, been fielded by the BJP. That's another seat that BJP has a good chance of winning because BJP has been talking to the Christian leadership, to the clergy, to the church. So, and church has always been opposed to, the communists there. They are looking for alternative. And overall, if you see, for Pinarayi Vijayan, these Lok Sabha elections are very crucial. That's why he has, ensured the left front is fighting every constituency, including Wayanad. That's why
Yes.
you had left leaders saying, why is Rahul contesting from here? Why not from the north? That is where the challenge is. So you're going to see Kerala. If BJP can win 2 seats in Kerala, that will also make a good beginning, just as I said in. Now, in Telangana and other places, the picture is like this. Out of 17 Lok Sabha seats in Telangana, BJP looks like, being comfortable in at least 7 or 8 seats. Last
Okay.
time, they had 8 parliament. I mean, they had 4 parliamentary seats. So this time they're looking at between 8 to 10.
So that is a gain that you see
Yeah,
in
and in
Telangana.
Andhra, they are part of the TDP alliance. Even if
Yes.
they win 1 seat, they will think that that alliance has been worth it. Now, in Telangana, I can tell you the fight is between Jagan Reddy and Chandrababu Naidu,
Uh,
and
in in in
In Andhra
Andhra
Pradesh, and
Pradesh.
Jagan's sister is the Congress PCC chief,
Yes.
and she
Shamit.
herself is contesting from Kadapa.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
Jagan is very tactful this time in the sense she is attacking him, that is, the sister is attacking the brother, but Jagan is not saying anything, saying she is part of my family, I am not going to say anything. And he has also managed to get some Kapu leaders who are associates of Pavan Kalyan. They have come
Yes.
over to Jagan Reddy's party. So overall, if you see that BJP is looking at South, that in addition to Karnataka, where they are better placed following their alliance with Devagowda's Janata Dal Secular, they are looking at a figure something like 23 or 24 out of the 28 seats, which means Congress is really up as an uphill task in Karnataka. They had won their assembly elections, but this
Yes.
time there has been course correction to see that Lingayat votes are not split, Vokalinga votes are not split. So that's the scenario in the south. But overall, the fact that the Prime Minister enjoys a huge popularity across the country and BJP is better prepared, and you are seeing the crumbling of the Congress edifice in most states. Either leaders are quitting, not willing to contest, or some of them coming over to the BJP. So the overall mood looks like that BJP is fighting this election as if this is the election that they may lose. Whereas on the other hand, because that's the instruction from the Prime Minister, not to treat this election as the done deal.
You
Works in
said,
every constituency.
Shekhar, you made a very important point there, and I've been talking to some strategists there. One of the challenges I think during one of the reviews they found out is somewhere a complacency had also set in. When people tell you that you are winning, 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 sometimes your own voters don't come out and vote. So that's something I think BJP will like to address. What about how are they going about? You've been obviously in touch with a lot of BJP strategists in ensuring that their voters come out and vote, because that's very important, because also this election will also see extreme heat. So climate will have a major role, and I would say that climate change will play a role in Indian elections. Where do you see that panning out?
Saurabh, your question has been answered by the Prime Minister. He addressed a rally in Churu in Rajasthan. And Churu, is the hottest place in Rajasthan. And the Prime Minister specifically mentioned about the heat. He asked his people to look, don't be scared by the heat. Do come out and vote. That's the only way you can ensure that a lot of dreams that we are that we have dreamt and the goals that we have in mind can be implemented if voters turn out in large number. Prime Minister specifically spoke about heat in Churu, and he also said, do not assume it is done deal. And he has been telling his internal meetings as well as party karyakartas and other leaders, work for this election as if, this election you might lose. Don't go by the fact that, my popularity will work or anything. Because, see, this time the Prime Minister target is not just winning a third term, Saurabh. The
Yes.
whole idea of, taking in more people coming from other parties, there are a lot of criticism within also. Why are we taking so many people if we are so confident? But the Prime Minister's goal this time is BJP should near the 50% mark of the total votes polled, number one. And number two, he wants he wants to convey the message that BJP has not been chosen because of absence of opposition. Rather, it is their first choice. And
Right.
this next 5 years are going to see big changes. You're going to see delimitation. You're going to
Yes.
see women's reservation. You're going to see the rollout of one nation, one poll. There are several things that are there which would require the Prime Minister as a very, very comfortable majority in Parliament. And
That's
the way the Prime Minister is campaigning, one day in Rajasthan, next day in Bengal. And interestingly, Saurabh, I want to talk about Bengal because Bengal, the difference of percentage in terms of percentage votes, it was 43% and 41%. It has been just a 2% difference between Mamata's Trinamool Congress and BJP. In Bengal now, this time, because of horrible incidents like Sandesh Kali, where Mamata is actually, has her back to the wall, and within her party, there are a lot of differences have cropped up, even within her family, between her brothers and she, and as well as Abhishek Banerjee, who happens to be her nephew. And between Abhishek and Mamata also, there are differences. The choice of candidates and the allegations and number of cases. And even Kolkata High Court made an observation, even if the affidavits that have been filed in connection with the Sandesh Kali episode, where women were targeted by Trinamool Congress leaders and the incidents of sexual exploitation happened in Trinamool party office.
which is
And this is a unique case where the perpetrators belong to the ruling party. The occurrence of the crime was also ruling party office, and no action was taken by policemen who were controlled by the ruling party. And BJP has put up actually one of the victims as candidate. Rekha Patra is one of the victims of Sandesh Kali, and she's a BJP candidate from Bashirhat. So you can see that in Bengal, Mamata is having problems. So I am told if the election commission can make foolproof arrangements and people can come out and vote, you could see the BJP's figures surge even close to 30 out of 42. Because
which
there
is
is a
a
lot of undercurrent of unrest.
which is a
And
big number.
last time, Trinamool had won 22 seats and BJP had won 18 seats.
Which is obviously that will be a gain. What happened in Odisha, Shekhar? We heard that they were almost close to an alliance, and then obviously the talks broke, and then now BJD and BJP are fighting the election separately. How much of an impact do you see there? What do
No,
you what do you
yeah,
is
you
going to
see, he has been. I mean, this is his. He is in power for the sixth time. David Patnaik last time, and he's
Yes.
the longest-serving chief minister. He has good equations with prime minister, no doubt. There was a proposal from Naveen's side. Why should we fight each other rather? But the feedback from the state BJP was that BJD has been having heavy anti-incumbency issues, and there was resistance from the Orissa unit. They were not very happy when the talk of an alliance was discussed between Prime Minister and then the question of seats and particular seats. Some of the seats that were won last time by the BJP, they didn't want to give up those seats. And finally, within the Biju Janata Dal, there is a resentment growing over the number two man in the BJD. That is an IAS officer who has given up his that is Karthikeyan Pandian.
Yes.
Pandian is the right-hand man of Naveen Patnaik. He belongs to Tamil Nadu. His
Mhm.
wife is a Odia officer who is serving in the Odisha cadre. Now,
Mhm.
within the BJP, there is a lot of resentment that Naveen Patnaik has groomed him as a number two. He quit IAS and joined his and got a cabinet rank. But he manages all the development initiatives called the 5 Ts. And that was also a factor where the feedback from the state BJP to the Prime Minister was, look, there are severe problems in BJD. Now, this is the time we should go it alone so that we strike a good haul of seats.
So that's the reason. Okay.
Yes.
Another question being asked, a lot of our viewers have been asking us, the timing of the action against the opposition leaders, whether it's the Aam Aadmi Party leaders in Delhi, the freezing of Congress's bank account. Obviously, these are all done by the agencies. This is done as a normal course. But do you think that the timing will evoke some sympathy for the opposition? At least they have something, and the voters may think that they are being victimized. Where do you see that going?
That is a problem that Aam Aadmi Party is facing today. The sympathy factor is missing because generally, among folks today, if any politician is facing such a problem, the tendency to think, kuch to hoga, nahi to kaise phasta. I mean, there is no sympathy for any politician, if he is charged with corruption. Now, in Kejriwal case, he could have, responded to the summons very early and be done with now. Instead of that, he dragged the matter, he ignored 9 summons. Then just as a window to the approaching elections, that is the time he was picked because he did not get relief from courts. Now, all these leaders have had problems from the courts because courts are not granting them relief. But surprisingly, Sanjay Singh's bail plea was not opposed by ED, which also goes to show that his being released on bail will have a bearing on the Aam Aadmi Party leadership struggle. Because Kejriwal wants his wife to take over. She has been issuing on video messages,
Yes.
and one message had, Bhagat Singh on one side, and with Kejriwal in the middle behind the bars. And in the Ramlila Maidan, Congress objected to Kejriwal's posters being put there, saying, look, this meeting is not just about Kejriwal. This is about how the opposition is overall facing challenges from the Modi government. Now, for the opposition, for all these leaders, the cases, now, for instance, the income tax case. After the income tax assured the Supreme Court that we are not going to do anything till the elections are over, that issue has died now. Similarly, with Sanjay Singh getting bail, somewhere along the AAP's, the sympathy, the effort to get sympathy has also got punctured because one leader has come out on bail.
True. Other question, Shekhar, we discussed in the last edition about BJP wooing a lot of professionals. We have seen Ambassador Taranjeet Singh Sandhu being fielded from Amritsar. You have Basiri Saraj, even though she's Sushma Swaraj's daughter, she's a well-known lawyer. So where do you see BJP's gambit coming in, where they're trying to get in some professionals to contest these elections? And where do you see the visibility factor?
I'll tell you, Saurabh, of the 400 candidates that the BJP has announced, 400 odd, 100 are new faces. That means they have dropped a lot of people. They have dropped 1/3 of their sitting members to get new faces. The whole idea is there should be fresh faces, experienced hands, like Mr. Sandhu, who is contesting from Amritsar. He belongs to Amritsar. Yes. And similarly, they have brought a lot of people, like the Mysore Maharaja, he is a young professional, Odiyar has come. Yeah. And you see, from a seat like Mysore is a very tough constituency. So the whole idea is bring freshness, and a lot of representation has been given to women also, though it is not 33%, because next elections, 2029 elections will be held under the 33% quota. So the Prime Minister's attempt is you must have new energy, new blood, and wherever they had even an iota of doubt about winnability, they have changed the candidate. They brought new people. So overall, you can see under the Prime Minister's direction, the BJP has been, taking very, very risky decisions. The risky in the sense, ready to move away from the, from a pattern and go for new candidates.
Which is a very important point that you made, that he's not risk averse. Obviously, when it comes to his governance, he has proven that he takes risks. But when it comes to electoral politics, often politicians don't want to take a decision. When Prime Minister has taken it, we will wait and see. What about the urban centers? Where do you see Do you think the BJP support base will be intact in urban centers, prominent cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore? Where do you see the urban centers uh, voting this time?
In all the urban centers, particularly in the north, Saurabh, there is a huge support for the Prime Minister. Though there are problems like unemployment, economy is just picking up, the manufacturing is just gearing up, and the figures that are coming show that things are looking hopeful as the days pass by, because we had to recover from earlier a slow economic slowdown followed by
Yes,
3 years of COVID. Things are been very slow, but there is a sense of hope, Saurabh. See, the across voters in India, particularly the northern states, as well as in large pockets in south, the feeling is there are very big problems that the country is facing, but if anybody can solve them, and we sincerely trying to solve them, it is the Prime Minister. This is the advantage for the Prime Minister, I will say, across all states, where he is still seen as a person as he enters or gears up for a third term, that he can solve problems. Yeah, and he is sincere about solving problems, and he has worked hard. India has seen a number of achievements. India's prestige has gone up among the Committee of Nations. So many things have happened. This is boosting a lot of young people who feel the next 5 years and even the next 5 years. Definitely, we are going to see very big developments that will propel India to a pride of place. And that will itself, boost economy, will create a lot of things. Now, for instance, the infrastructure growth that is happening in the country. Similarly, for agriculture also, there are very grand plans. See, like for instance, the farm bills had to be withdrawn because of the situation created by some interested groups. But people are looking at a scenario where Prime Minister will not definitely not forget the plans he had for the agriculture. Those plans will be brought back. They may be fine tuned. You are going to see a lot of investment happening in the agriculture sector for agro based industries. Chain of cold storage, they just announced 70,000 crore per scheme just 2 months ago, to have a chain of cold storage houses, so that our farmers can store their produce and get a better price when the market yeah. And also, there are several plans to see that the farmer's income is actually doubled. For that to
right.
happen, you have to lift some curbs like export of onion, export of sugar. These are areas always, politically guided, because if domestic prices are fluctuating, then immediately the ban comes.
Right.
But the Prime Minister has already worked out, Saurabh, on what he will do in the first 100 days. Now, today, the Congress has come out with its manifesto. Now, very soon, you're going to see the BJP manifesto also. And the BJP manifesto will also see very specifics, what they wish to do in 100 days, what they wish to do in 200 days. And a team is working at it, headed by Rajnath Singh, but it's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman who is working at it. So you're going to see that what the Prime Minister has been saying, it is, the Prime Minister is approaching this election with just two, I would say, card. One is a report card, and the other is a card that lists his vision for the future, because
Right.
he's going by the achievement. And let us not underestimate the impact of Ram Temple, which is seen as one of the promises fulfilled at Ayodhya. Similarly, the removal of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir. There are several things where the BJP is able to tell the electorate, look, जो जो जैसे बोला वैसे किया. In fact, the manifesto is going to carry a part. जो बोला
Right.
वो किया. So
Right.
you can see how the approach is towards a positive approach, and to boost the mood of the country.
Right. Let's shift focus to Maharashtra, another key state for the BJP. They've now struck an alliance, with NCP. Ajit Pawar is with them. Shiv Sena, one part of it, Eknath Shinde is with them. How much do you think this alliance will get in terms of the electoral seats in Maharashtra? What's your sense?
See, there are 48 seats there, and BJP is contesting at least 26 of them.
Yes.
Now, they also had problems. The Mahayuti also had problems. I mean, BJP, Eknath Shinde, as well as Ajit Pawar's party. But the problems here have been more or less being managed. Whereas in the opposition side, Uddhav Thackeray's unilateral announcement of seats and candidates without an understanding with Congress has created so much of bad blood. Similarly, problems in NCP, the Sharad Pawar's problem is his party had to go for a new name, new symbol, and Ajit Pawar is contesting just 5 or 6 seats. And one of the main seats is that Baramati, where Sharad
Yes.
Pawar's daughter will again try her luck, and his wife is a contestant.
Our wife is a candidate. Yes.
So Sunetra Pawar.
Yes.
Maharashtra, I think BJP is looking for a rich haul. Out of 48, their target is 40. But there are problems. But one thing is clear, that once Prime Minister, the whole problem has been the seat adjustment,
Yes.
the naming of candidate. That has been the problem. But I feel this Mahayuti has been able to manage it in a better way when if you compare to what Mahavikas Agadi has done. And see, Sanjay Nirupam has come out now. Earlier,
Yes.
Milind Devrao came out.
Yes.
These have not sent good messages in terms of for this alliance, Mahavikas Agadi.
Right. What went wrong in Punjab, Shekhar? There was a talk that there may be an alliance back with Akali Dal. That did not transpire. That would also mean that BJP is fighting it alone. But they've got candidates. So they, in fact, in a way, they've got almost 5 sitting MPs now contesting the elections for them.
Yes,
How do you see that happening?
See, the feedback was that Akalis, even when last time, when the BJP Akali Dal alliance did badly in Punjab, it was largely because of Akalis. And Akalis have had quite a bad run. They have had a terrible anti-incumbent issues then also, and since then they have not picked up. So the advice from the Punjab BJP leaders, and many of them are Congress leaders.
Yes.
After all, the president is Sunil Jakhar. So their feedback was, look, we better go it alone. So we are seen as alternative to Bhagwat Das Man, to the AAP.
Right.
So, and that's a decision they have taken. And you are going to see that there may be very surprises out of 13 Lok Sabha seats, which the AAP is hoping to completely sweep, like they did in the Punjab Assembly elections. That probably may not happen. And BJP may manage to win. Even if they manage 2-3 seats, I think it's going to be a big game changer in terms of Punjab politics.
Right. Shekhar, thank you for talking to us. We will come back with another edition of India Decides. Always a pleasure to talk to you. And keep on telling and informing our viewers as well. And before I go, do make sure that you follow News Mobile's fact-check coverage, because to strengthen democracy, you have to defeat misinformation and disinformation. A lot of misinformation is happening in the run-up to elections. Do go to News Mobile's WhatsApp tip line if you want to share any post, and we will fact check it for you. And News Mobile has also been doing a training program called Chunav Shala, where we have been debunking election-related misinformation. So do go to www.newsmobile.in. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.